Now, I consider myself a commentary channel, but I've recently noticed a growing stigma around the commentary community from other communities, which is to be somewhat expected because the commentary community isn't exactly the most positive place on the internet, and I wore the label of commentary YouTuber in double quotes very confidently until I started to take a trip outside of the bubble, and then I realized that this side of YouTube isn't exactly looked at as highly as I thought it was. Now, up until about 2 years ago, the word commentary to me meant something completely different than what it does now. To me, commentary used to mean, showing some video game gameplay of whatever game and the commentator talking about whatever the hell they decided to talk about on that specific day. They could talk about anything, politics, the game they're playing, or the most popular option, themselves, and it would just be fine. Now, I'm gonna call this, for the sake of this video, traditional commentary. It helped you get to know the person without even knowing what their face looked like. And this personally has made me feel like I know people very personally that I've never even, probably haven't even been in the same state as, to be completely honest. And this was fine until around 2015, 2016, when people like Leafy and H3 and Pyrocynical started to gain popularity, and suddenly there's this whole new branch of YouTube that is super popular seemingly overnight to me, which probably isn't the case, but they didn't have a name for this specific niche of content. So everybody just kind of settled on the name commentary. This threw me off because, again, my definition of commentary was a little bit different, but I also understood because I definitely would not be able to create a name for that type of content either. I get it. And at the same time, there was another man that we will talk about in a minute gaining popularity in his own lane. But for now, I want to address the Leaf in the room. People definitely did not like Leafy. Now, I watched Leafy's content for maybe a week, and then I found that, ironically, I wasn't a huge fan of the guy's content, and neither did other people, and they started to complain. In my humble opinion, rightfully so. Leafy made videos with no clear humor or moral code to back him up. Do you get why I say ironically now? Since Leafy's content was so surface level and easy to produce, he put out a lot of videos really fast, so he gained a lot of subs very fast. And people noticed, but I'm going to give credit where credit is due. His negative overtones and clickbaity thumbnails and titles are still being used today. But that's just about all the credit I can give him, because the rest of it was just filler and, dare I say it, borderline bullying. It's one thing to make a video about an 83-year-old woman, it's another thing to make a video about a child. And people talk constantly about how social media is terrible for children and how it ruins their self-esteem. Why add to that fire, A kid can decide to go on Dr. Phil, but then have a 20-something-year-old making fun of them on the internet forever, for the rest of their life. It'll be there. And this is where myself and a lot of other people had a problem with Leafy, and that continued until Content Cop. One single video is credited to Leafy's demise. It is iDubbbz's Content Cop. There is something about the Content Cop videos that make every point so bold and definitive that people know what they're getting when they click on a Content Cop. The Leafy one is the reason that Leafy started to, 1, halt growing, and 2, start to backslide in numbers very soon after. We're talking days after. And with Leafy's backslide, so did that kind of content on all of YouTube. And we saw people like Pyrocynical start to change their content. Now his stuff is a little bit more thought out. But to be clear, this type of commentary didn't die out completely. We have people like Quite, who gained all of his popularity after Leafy. He basically took Leafy's formula and made it better. He makes better points, and if he's gonna say something harsh, he's going to back it up with a fact. Now, while all this was happening, my brain was going, okay, Leafy, but what kind of video is this Content Cop? Technically a commentary. And now the lines are starting to blur. We have Pyrocynical, we have Quite, we have throwing a PewDiePie, we have Leafy still. There's so many different kinds of commentary, and now technically Content Cop is a type of commentary. And you'd think that with all these different ideas of what a commentary video is, there's no other space for any kind of other style of commentary. But we're wrong. Here is a new style of commentary, one where the lines start to blur for me, and it's where all my personal issues with this topic lies. Enter Cody Co, Danny Gonzalez, and Leon Lush.
Yeah, graduated, but I'm aggravated from the half that made it. We was drinking faded. Me and life and death.
Hey, you standing on the couch, you look like a little kid still. Go stand on the couch. Go stand on the couch.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a brand new Thomas the Train lunchbox filled with your late grandfather's ashes. My name is Leon Lush, and
Greg, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all having a great day. This is another episode of Badads. Or Badads. It's Badads.
Technically, commentary YouTubers, they still look at other people, poke fun at them, make jokes at their expense. But for me, the thing is, they make joy through laughter. And that's why I personally had such a positive outlook on this branch of YouTube, this commentary community, until I walked outside the bubble. You know, to me, we were just chilling here, positive vibes all around, we're all laughing, having a good time. Leon Lush specifically is really good at making a negative thing sound very lighthearted with his editing style.
and just as I was about to lose hope, by the grace of God, somebody DM'd me on Instagram and introduced me to Candy Ken.
Our love is sweet like a lollipop.
And when I say that we stand, that is the understatement of the century.
But on the flip side, Cody Ko will literally call an entire YouTube channel cringy in a video title, but then you're laughing the entire video. This new style was definitely a problem child for me, but at the same time that I was just sitting here watching all of this kind of commentary, traditional commentary was evolving in the background. The point of my awakening is when I started to get back into traditional commentary. It is so much more well produced now, very well thought out and well spoken now.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to The Right Opinion, the home of a twat with too much free time.
But I genuinely believe that Reload animations carry a lot of weight when it comes to making a good FPS title.
As the drums kick in, Tyler greets you into Igor.
The complete opposite of what I knew traditional commentary to be, with very rough cuts and very open, not really thought out topics. It turned more into a video essay style of commentary, and that's what I'm going to call them from now on, because traditional commentary is still being held down by a couple people like Nero Cinema and 402 Thunder. They're still out here doing the OG kind of commentaries. I've found this video essay kind of content to be my favorite stuff to watch on all of YouTube, if it's done right. An amazing example of this is Average Pixel's recent video on reload animations. The guy had 10,000 subscribers before that video went up. The video went up, now he's at like 130k, which is just crazy. Congrats, man. But recently I started watching The Right Opinions. Now, he's never made a video that I did not enjoy, I'm going to be completely honest. But after binging his content, he has very long form content too, for about 2-3 weeks straight, about a month ago, I found that he makes a lot of offhanded comments like this one.
Like a mess, and all it becomes identifiable for is its controversial premise, which is inevitably picked up by semi-famous commentators to explain why this song doesn't sound nice. Which is fine, they can do that.
Directed at the commentary community, like he has some kind of disdain for them, but he's never made a video specifically directed at the community. But because of this comment, it kind of opened my mind to kind of watch Cody Ko or Danny Gonzalez with a little bit more of a critical eye on the videos. And because I've done this style of commentary before, I've kind of got some opinions on it. In the vein of content I've been making, I've kind of noticed that there are very, very few people at the top of it. And I've kind of already mentioned all of them, the Cody Ko, Danny Gonzalez, Leon Lush, Eddie Burback, maybe Gus Johnson in there. And that's really it. I would think everybody else is kind of mid-tier. And this is because they offer things that you can't find anywhere else. Leon Lush has crazy charisma and editing skills that just mesh together beautifully. Eddie Burback has nailed the satirical shoulder shrug why, and Drew Gooden has perfected slow but rhythm-like comedic timing, and that's good for them. But I'm just saying, everyone else, including myself, is very mid-tier, very average. We all have very similar videos, similar comedy, similar editing, and as someone who can just on the fly react to a video in front of a camera and maybe, big maybe, make a somewhat decently enjoyable video out of it, I know how much work goes into a video, and I know how much work doesn't go into a video. And I've pretty much strayed away from the react on the fly style of video, with the exception of my last one. And it's for that reason I find them to be a little bit more lazy, and I don't get quite the creative fulfillment out of them as I do with something else. And there's also next to no critical thinking involved, and people notice. I don't think I've had any of my friends tell me that some of their favorite videos I've made are the ones where I react on the fly. It's because people notice. And that's why The Right Opinion says stuff like that, because there are a lot of people out there making very uninspired and surface level style of reaction style of commentary videos. And to be completely honest, I know I'm coming off as kind of a hypocrite here, but I'm going to change the videos I make. I still want to do the occasional commentary video. If there's something that I think is funny or I want to share with people in a creative way, I'm going to make a video on it. Like if I see some bullshit on Twitter and I think I can make some funny bits out of it, I'm going to try to make a video out of it. But I'm going to stray away from the solely commentary stuff that I've been doing. And I know this doesn't completely excuse my hypocrisy, but I'm hoping that you guys can at least hear my insight into the situation and accept it. Anyways, the lesson for today is tell yourself the hard truths. Tell yourself the things you don't want to hear, because you may find that you enjoy some of the changes that you make about it. Thanks for watching.
Coke boy, baby.
Yeah, graduated, but I'm aggravated from the half that made it. We was drinking faded. Me and life and death is half related. Masturbating on a scale for 100 million, asking God how we made it. Watching John David Robinson, now my dog Robin.